30 mornings of June gloom reliably shed into summer. It was the first thing Grace mentioned when Grace and Mike moved to Sela. Not the palms, not the beach tar, not Taco Tuesdays at Howler's, but that weird weather thing, how it just seemed to vibe with what all these people were about. Suzy slides her flip-flops off and sinks her feet into the sand, tucks her board under arm, turns her face up into the naked light. She wades farther out onto the beach, watches a volleyball game to her right. Though she expected to be among plenty of strangers, she's surprised she doesn't recognize anyone at all. Just bodies thrown wide, lunging for passing shots, or hinged open in beach chairs, stretched out but propped up, like square root signs flipped over. All but one or two sets of skin are darker than hers. Even after a month in the sun, she hasn't had much success jackhammering through the calcified layers of her upstate winters. She's just never cared this acutely before, never given it regular thought. But around her now, the toasted girls alight with their gumminess, the boys with their counter-handsome peeling noses and white eyelashes, their rhythmless rubber flailing to the hollies. What is missing for them, Suzy has come to realize, is a plain self-consciousness. Their confidence, their satisfaction, complete and uncomplicated. That, and they're wasted already. Suzy keeps her dress on and looks for something to drink. She slips between adjacent volleyball courts. The tournament has already been running for 3 hours. She'd been told all about it by Grace and Mike. The drunken draw. Mixed pairs, 2-on-2, a case of Coors for each team to split. She doesn't know the pair receiving serve to her left, but recognizes the other couple from Howler's. The boy's body is long and wide at the top, surfer's torso, swimmer's shoulders, and it's the color of the grilled hot dogs on the Weber. He serves from the back line and drifts into position to receive an on-2 dink around midcourt. The pass to his partner, at the net, draws her into a setter's squat, and her hands move into a steeple above her head. The ball trampolines off her fingers, high and still like a soap bubble, and he leaps to meet it with the base of his palm. But the timing's all wrong. He's way up out of the sand before the ball hits its crest, and he slaps it open-handed and side-armed on a direct course for Suzy's face. Without processing it, she gets both arms up and blocks the ball right back into the court. It's more effective than if she'd had time to think it over. The point evidently ends the game, and both teams look relieved to settle back in with their cases. The guy passes Suzy and smiles. He tries to say something, but it comes out as sound and saliva. Suzy waves him off and says, No, I'm sorry. She finds a keg buried at the weathered post at the edge of the court. The post has names and dates carved into it, hearts and initials, phone numbers, a couple RIPs. The oldest date she sees is 1/1/61, New Year's on the beach. Suzy finds a seat far enough from the court to avoid stray shots, but near enough to keep an eye out for Grace and Mike. She plants her board into the sand like a spade, crosses her ankles, and compresses into a tidy knot. She drinks half her beer and scans the horizon. It is hotter all at once, and she feels as though her head is floating perceptibly above her hairline. A jet rises over the water. It's well off the runway and tracking, at 15 degrees of ascent, above the white verticals of Santa Monica and then the big upper arm of Malibu. Suzy squints, united. 55 seconds later, Western. Another 55. Pan Am. IDing the paint job isn't a challenge. Guessing where it's headed is the game. The United jet spirals deliberately before aiming itself back east toward the continent. United hubs, Chicago, Washington, Newark. She watches the plane swirl higher and perceives it to be pointing more northerly than not. O'Hare in 4 hours. 3 flights a day, spread across the timetable, LAX to ORD. Next up, a red and white 727. Western. LA to Las Vegas, maybe. Grand Pacific's odds-on up next. They're 0 for the last 8 takeoffs. But instead, Pan Am again, 0 for 9. Then TWA, 0 for 10. Continental, 11. Finally, there it goes, Grand Pacific. The aquamarine bullet, a tail Suzy's eyes read as lavender, but that she knows to be striped red, white, and blue. It follows the others up the corkscrew and points itself north. San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. Suzy wonders who might be working today, who among the